Welcome to episode 6 of our series on the American Revolution, where we explore the pivotal moments that shaped the birth of a new nation. Today, we delve into the transformative period between 1778 and 1781, when the war effort expanded beyond the shores of America, drawing in European powers and reshaping the global landscape. It was during this time that the Continental Congress secured a crucial alliance with France, marking a significant turning point in the war. The Treaty of Alliance, signed on February 6, 1778, committed France to providing financial, military, and diplomatic support to the American cause. This move not only bolstered the Continental Army's resources, but also drew Britain into a global conflict, as France and its allies began to challenge British dominance in Europe and beyond. The arrival of French troops and supplies in America had a profound impact on the war effort. Under the command of General Jean-Baptiste Donatien de Vimeur, Comte de Rochambeau, French forces brought much-needed expertise and manpower to the Continental Army. The combined forces launched a series of successful campaigns, including the Siege of Yorktown in 1781, which ultimately led to the surrender of British General Charles Cornwallis and marked a decisive victory for the Americans. As the war expanded globally, its economic impact began to be felt across Europe. The British Navy, once the dominant force on the high seas, found itself challenged by French and Spanish fleets. The disruption to trade routes and the subsequent economic strain on Britain helped to shift public opinion against the war effort. Meanwhile, the Continental Congress faced its own financial challenges, relying on loans from France and other European powers to fund the war. The economic burden of the war was not limited to the belligerents. It also had far-reaching consequences for neutral nations and colonial economies. The Dutch West India Company, for example, saw its trade networks disrupted by British privateers, while the Spanish Empire struggled to maintain control over its colonies in the face of British and American encroachment. The financing of the war effort became an increasingly complex issue, with multiple parties vying for control of resources and influence. The Continental Congress established the Office of Finance in 1778, headed by Robert Morris, who worked tirelessly to secure funding from European lenders and manage the fledgling nation's debt. Meanwhile, state governments and private individuals also played a crucial role in financing the war, often through informal networks and personal connections. As we explore this pivotal period in American history, it becomes clear that the global nature of the conflict had far-reaching consequences for all parties involved. The transformation of the war into a global struggle drew in new actors, created new alliances, and ultimately shifted the balance of power in favor of the Americans. The winter of 1779–80 proved particularly challenging for Washington's troops, who were stationed at Morristown, New Jersey. The harsh weather conditions and lack of supplies made every day a struggle for survival, as soldiers huddled together for warmth and scavenged for food. Despite these hardships, the Continental Army persevered, buoyed by Washington's leadership and determination. As the war drew to a close, the economic impact of the conflict began to be felt across America. Inflation soared, and trade networks were disrupted, leading to widespread shortages and hardship. The Continental Congress struggled to manage the nation's debt, which had grown exponentially since the start of the war. Despite these challenges, the young nation emerged from the conflict with a newfound sense of purpose and identity. That's all for today. Join us next time on History with Herodotus as we continue our series on the American Revolution with Episode 7, The War in the South.